I thought marrying into a wealthy family would be Cinderella's fairy tale come true. But instead, it turned into a 10-year hell. He took my child, let me be humiliated by my mother-in-law, and cheated constantly. He even pushed me down the stairs to favor his mistress, causing me to miscarry. In the end, he wouldn't even give me the money for my mom's life-saving surgery. When my mom passed away, and I lost my child, I finally woke up. This broken marriage. Let whoever wants to stay, stay. I just want money and freedom. As for him and the Ho family's sins, one day, they will pay double. When I divorced Ho Nathan Hale, we were both very calm. He kindly asked what I wanted. I answered without hesitation. Cars, houses, savings, and half of the company's shares. Ho Nathan Hale froze for a moment, a bit surprised. What about the kids? You don't want the 2 children? You love kids so much. Are you really willing to abandon Yuan Yuan and Olivia Hale? I lowered my head, staring at the countless scars on my wrists from self-harm. I gently shook my head. No. From now on, aside from money, I don't want anything related to Ho Nathan Hale. Looking at my indifferent attitude, Ho Nathan Hale seemed like he wanted to say something. But after a moment of hesitation, he signed the divorce agreement in silence. When we parted, Ho Nathan Hale politely said to me, "The shares can't be given to you, but you will always be the mother of the 2 children. If you ever encounter any trouble, feel free to come to me." I nodded. But as I turned around, I threw the business card Ho Nathan Hale had handed me into the trash. In this life, even if I die, I never want to see Ho Nathan Hale again. When I got home, I asked the maid to gather Ho Nathan Hale's things and throw them out. The maid didn't think much of it, smiling and joking. "Madam, did you and Mr. Ho have another fight? I advise you, just bear with it. Mr. Ho does care about you. There's no need to let go of the position of Mrs. Ho just out of spite. All these years, the suffering and humiliation I endured. Maria Gonzalez saw it all. She knew my deep love for Ho Nathan Hale. She had also witnessed countless times when I broke down because of his betrayal. She and Ho Nathan Hale both believed that I wouldn't leave. But this time, I didn't cry and complain as usual. Instead, I took down the wedding photo from the wall and said calmly, "My mother passed away." Maria Gonzalez's smile froze immediately. She stood there in a daze, stumbling over her words as she apologized. I smiled, not saying anything. I just forcefully smashed the frame in my hand into pieces. Maria Gonzalez was startled, and quickly bent down to help me clean it up. She skillfully treated the wounds that had reopened on my hand, muttering, "Good riddance, good riddance. We graduated from Qingbai. We can still live well after leaving him. Good girl, don't endure that kind of treatment anymore." I nodded, lowering my head in silence. I didn't want to cry. But as I lowered my head, the tears uncontrollably fell. There was regret, sadness, and also a sense of joy, surviving a catastrophe. After 10 years, the romantic love story between the prince and Cinderella finally came to an end. It wasn't perfect, but it was the inevitable conclusion. When I was 18, I ranked first in the county and got into Stanford University. It was also that year that I met Ho Nathan Hale, who had come back to invest in his alma mater. The beginning of a story is always romantic. Ours was no exception. Ho Nathan Hale fell in love with me at first sight. After the speech, he began his intense pursuit of me. He would wait for me on my way to class with milk tea and flowers. He would transfer money to my roommates to inquire about my whereabouts. He remembered everything about me. He would confess his love for me under a sea of flowers. At that time, everyone thought we would never last. They believed a small-town Cinderella like me was unworthy of Ho Nathan Hale. But Ho Nathan Hale didn't care. He only wanted to be with me. He withstood all the pressure and proposed to me. He isolated all the malicious gossip from our love. Under his protection, my previously rough and poor life suddenly turned into an easy mode. Flowers, jewelry, guaranteed studies abroad. All resources tilted toward me. Anything I wanted, without needing to ask. As a young girl, naive and dreamy, I quickly fell into Ho Nathan Hale's strong pursuit. I gave up my future and entered marriage. We dated, got married, had a child. Everything fell into place. For me back then, life was like a breeze. Everything I wanted was within reach. I indulged in the joy of love. But I didn't know the price of fate's gift had already been secretly marked. On the day Yuan Yuan was born, the never-before-seen Mrs. Ho entered the delivery room and took my child away. She wore a polite smile, but her voice was cold and arrogant. Yuan is the future heir of the Ho family, a person of great importance. With your background, you are not qualified to educate this child. I couldn't even hold my child. Not even allowed to see him without permission from others. I begged Ho Nathan Hale not to be so cruel, not to separate me from the child. But he looked at me strangely. My mom is right. You are from the countryside, she told me. No matter how much I mess up, it's fine. But when it comes to the child, she has the final say. I almost fainted from crying. Ho Nathan Hale ignored me, hugged my waist, and kissed me. He casually smiled. All right, don't be sad. If you like kids so much, we can have another one. I couldn't push him away. But when he saw my body covered with stretch marks, Ho Nathan Hale stopped. A flicker of discomfort and disdain flashed in his eyes. After a long hesitation, he said lightly, "You've had a long day. Rest early." Nathan Hale's indifference was like a slap in the face, waking me from the dream I had been living. I remembered the contempt of Margaret Hale, and the mocking of those around me. I suddenly realized, this so-called passionate love, from start to finish, was just a rich young man indulging in reckless behavior. Fate had once given me a blessing. Now, it was starting to demand interest. This child was just the beginning. During my confinement, I developed severe postpartum depression. I tried calling Nathan Hale, but the call wouldn't go through. I sent him a message, but no one replied. I started to worry that something had happened to him. Then, the next morning, I received news of his affair. Photos of him in bed with a young celebrity went viral overnight. People began to speculate about when this Cinderella who married into a rich family would be thrown out. The gossip and mockery from netizens shattered my last illusion. I couldn't accept it. My condition worsened. Nathan Hale and I had the most intense argument of our entire relationship. In an emotional breakdown, I harmed myself with a knife. In front of Nathan Hale, I tried to jump from the balcony. In the last moment, he rushed to hold me, trembling as he apologized. Like every cheating husband, he cried and said he was wrong. He said everything was a misunderstanding. He said he loved me and begged for another chance. That night, Nathan Hale kneeled in front of me, tears in his eyes. "Sophia Chen, will you forgive me just this once? I made my second biggest mistake in life. I chose to forgive him. For the child. For the love I couldn't let go of. And because my mother suddenly had a car accident, leaving me with no final family." So, Nathan Hale and I reconciled. And soon, we had a second child, Olivia Hale. Like Yuan, Olivia Hale was taken away right after birth. The reason was that Nathan Hale needed to focus on work and couldn't stand the noise of the child. To see both children, I had to wake up before dawn every day to serve at the old house. Serving tea, massaging his shoulders, even kneeling to wash Margaret Hale's feet. All to beg her mercy, so I could stay with the children. But what I earned with all my effort was Nathan Hale's shameless betrayal. And the deep disdain of both children. Yuan never called me mom. Every time she saw me, she frowned and said, "That stupid country woman is here again. I don't want to see her." Olivia Hale couldn't speak yet. She just cried to be held by grandma. Meanwhile, my mother's condition continued to deteriorate. The coldness of the children and the pressures of life drained my energy, leaving me helpless and broken. When I needed support the most, Nathan Hale had built a new family with another woman. It was our wedding anniversary. Yuan rejected my invitation to celebrate. Nathan Hale hung up on my call. His mistress, however, proactively sent a video of them in bed. Hearing their intimate voices, my emotions completely collapsed. I uncontrollably slashed my arm with a knife. When Maria Gonzalez rushed into the bathroom, my blood was almost drained. She hurriedly called Nathan Hale. But this time, he didn't return until morning. He crouched in front of me, laughing as he looked at my mangled arm. "Didn't you want to die? It's been the whole night. Why are you still like a dog, clinging to the Hale family?" One sentence made the calm I had just regained break down again. Without hesitation, I jumped off the balcony. I didn't die. I just broke my leg. Margaret Hale drove away all the gossip reporters and dragged me to my mother's hospital room. She looked down on me coldly and said, "Cedars-Sinai Medical Center costs $20,000 a day. If you dare disgrace the Hale family again, I will make your mother die with you." That was the first time I realized that death, too, could be a luxury. I couldn't let go of the love we once had, couldn't sever the bond of family. I could only be as humble as possible in this marriage that had no self. Watching my son and daughter grow distant from me. Watching Nathan Hale flirt with one woman after another. Watching them use my mother to control my life. A marriage in a rich family could be both sweet and painful. The Cinderella steps into the upper world and becomes Mrs. Huo, while the prince continues his love game, saving one poor beautiful girl after another. Until one day, Nathan Hale went too far. He fell in love with a socialite in her 30s with a history of multiple marriages, and even got her pregnant. Margaret Hale was furious. She slapped me twice, scolding me for not keeping my husband in check. A woman who can't even keep her husband's heart. What use are you? I order you to fix this immediately, or I will stop your mother's treatment fees and make sure you never see Yuan and Olivia Hale again. After the marriage became full of wounds, the only remaining family became my only support. I couldn't lose my mother. I couldn't lose this last bit of hope. I forced myself to find Savannah Reed. She wasn't like Nathan Hale's previous women, aggressive and arrogant. Instead, she was polite and humble. She called me Margaret Hale, looking at me with a completely flattering gaze. Sorry, madam, I didn't mean to destroy your family. I just love Nathan Hale too much. As long as it's for Nathan Hale's sake, I'm willing to abort this child and never come back. Savannah Reed kept her word. After taking the money, she disappeared without a trace. That night, after not coming home for a long time, Nathan Hale finally pushed open my bedroom door. Without a word, he pushed me onto the bed, taking me ruthlessly. For an entire month, he didn't let me get out of bed. Until I became pregnant with our third child. To reward me for solving his problem. And to keep him at home. Margaret Hale unexpectedly agreed to let me keep the child and raise him. Meanwhile, my mother's health improved under the care of Huo family's exclusive medical team. I was ecstatic, thinking the suffering was finally over. Thinking that life had finally gotten better. But just when I was 8 months pregnant, Nathan Hale personally pushed me down the stairs. He watched me struggle in a pool of blood and coldly said, "Did you think of this when you forced Savannah Reed away and caused her to lose her child? Did you think about how much pain she felt? You owe Savannah Reed a life. This is your retribution." I fell unconscious in pain and despair. When I woke up again, the child was gone. I cried as if I were dying, unable to accept it. But bad news came in waves. My mother's attending doctor told me. After waking up, my mother learned about everything I had suffered in the Hale family. The emotional shock worsened her condition, and she urgently needed surgery. The surgery cost $200,000, which I couldn't afford. None of Nathan Hale's assets were under my name. Those brand name bags and jewelry, I didn't own. $200,000. To Nathan Hale, it was just a meal. To me, it was the final straw. I cried as I called him, begging for help. If it would save my mother, I was willing to work like a servant for him. But Nathan Hale sneered and said, "Sophia Chen, don't be so self-righteous. Do you think I'll believe these lousy lies? To fight for Savannah Reed's favor, you'll say anything." He hung up coldly. The last thing I heard was their forgotten voices. My mother, in the midst of those ambiguous moans, completely lost her breath. While I was handling my mother's funeral arrangements, I accidentally saw the headline of the day. Rich heir spends millions proposing to new lover. Former Cinderella discarded. The fallen Cinderella was knocked back to reality. And she had paid the price with 2 lives. Soon, Nathan Hale learned of my mother's death. He said nothing, quietly transferred $2 million to me. To him, $2 million was just a way to solve a problem. He had already compensated me tenfold. What more was there to be dissatisfied with? This is love. This is Nathan Hale's love, coming down from his high place. I should be grateful, terrified, and accept it. But to me, the last attachment in this world was gone. The child was gone. My mother was dead. I was free. Exhausted, I asked Nathan Hale for a divorce. The first time, he looked at me with disdain. "Divorce? Do you really want to leave me? Don't you know, without me, you'll have nothing?" The second time, he was a little impatient. "Fine, I'm just having some fun outside. I'll be back. Be good. Don't be mad. I'll take you to Hawaii when I return." The third time, Nathan Hale, embarrassed, tore up the divorce papers. The fourth, fifth time, he finally agreed. He looked at me from a high and mighty position. Savannah Reed was right. It's good for you to calm down. After suffering outside, you'll know the Hale family's worth. He signed the divorce papers in a carefree manner. He was waiting for me to cry and beg him to come back, like before. But he didn't know. This time, I was determined to leave. I handed the villa key to Maria Gonzalez. Calmly, I said, "I sold the house. The new owner has agreed to let you stay here and work. Maria Gonzalez, you've been the kindest to me. I wish you peace and happiness." Maria Gonzalez's eyes were red. She choked for a long time. In the end, she only said, "Safe travels." She didn't ask where I was going, or what I would do. She only knew. I had finally jumped out of the Hale family's fire pit. After a moment of silence, I dragged my suitcase and left this cage that had imprisoned me for 10 years. Meanwhile, Nathan Hale, lost in his fantasy, suddenly woke up from a nightmare. In his dream, there was a figure leaving resolutely. Nathan Hale sat up quickly, his expression slightly flustered. He instinctively grabbed the hand of the person next to him. But the face before him was unfamiliar. Savannah Reed woke up from Nathan Hale's movements. She looked at him with confusion. "What's wrong? Did you have a nightmare, or are you feeling unwell?" She gently stroked his back to comfort him. But the more she did this, the more anxious Nathan Hale became. His heart was pounding uncontrollably, and he couldn't explain why. After a moment of hesitation, Nathan Hale put on his coat. "I need to go back to my old home for a bit. You should rest." Savannah Reed clung to him, cooing and begging him not to leave. But this time, Nathan Hale, who had always been obedient to her, pushed her hand away. As he walked down the stairs, he called Sophia Chen. No answer. The feeling of not daring to face the truth became stronger. Nathan Hale drove fast towards the Beverly Hills villa. The door, once always open to him, was now tightly shut. Nathan Hale entered the password several times but couldn't get in. He angrily knocked on the door. His voice betrayed an urgency he hadn't even noticed. "Sophia Chen, are you home? Tomorrow is your birthday. I have something to say to you. I told you, even if we divorce, you're still Yuan Yuan and Olivia Hale's mom. Tomorrow I'll take you to see them, okay?" The door opened. But it was a stranger who came out. Nathan Hale's face turned white in an instant. He rushed forward, grabbing the man's collar. He tried to suppress the anger in him. "Who are you? Why are you in my house? Where's Sophia Chen?" The man looked at him with confusion. "Who are you? What are you doing here in the middle of the night? I already bought this house. You're trespassing. You know? Leave now or I'll call the police." "The house was sold? Sophia Chen really sold the house?" Nathan Hale stood there in disbelief. Sophia Chen had studied design in college, and this house was the wedding home she had designed for them both. From the decoration to the planning, she had poured all her heart into it. Sophia Chen once said this was the most beautiful place she had ever seen. And the warmest, happiest family, just for the two of them. But back then, Sophia Chen never thought that this beautiful house would become the prison that trapped her for half a lifetime. That locked away all her happiness. Maria Gonzalez came out when she heard the noise. Nathan Hale looked at her like he had found a lifeline, his eyes instantly lighting up. "Maria Gonzalez, you're still here. I knew Sophia Chen couldn't bear to sell this house. Tell me, where did Sophia Chen go? I know she's still angry about the kids. She'll be back when I take her to see them tomorrow. I can forget the past, as long as she's willing to live with me." Until now, Nathan Hale was still confident. The divorce was just a way for Sophia Chen to test him. She had mentioned divorce many times. But every time, it was just a storm that passed without any real result. She had been pampered for too long. She had long lost the ability to live independently. She couldn't leave the Hale family. She couldn't leave Nathan Hale. She couldn't bear to leave those two kids. So no matter what she did, no matter how much she threw tantrums, Nathan Hale was convinced that Sophia Chen would never really leave. But this time, he was wrong. Maria Gonzalez smiled awkwardly. "No need. Madam specially instructed before she left that she doesn't want to see you or the two children." "Doesn't want to see us? How is that possible? Even if she's angry with me, how could she bear to leave the two children?" Nathan Hale would never forget. When Ethan Hale was 3, she fell seriously ill. Everyone said she wouldn't survive. Sophia Chen stayed up all night by her hospital bed, not sleeping for days. She knelt on the floor, praying to the heavens over and over. As long as Ethan Hale was safe, she was willing to trade 10 years of her life. Later, Ethan Hale survived, but Sophia Chen's legs were left with permanent damage. When she gave birth to Olivia Hale, Sophia Chen hemorrhaged and nearly died. But the first thing she did when she woke up wasn't to be afraid, it was to ask if the child was okay. The tenderness and love in her eyes when she talked about the children. Even Nathan Hale had never had that. He couldn't understand the feeling because he hadn't gone through 10 months of pregnancy. But he could feel how much Sophia Chen loved the children. Sophia Chen's love for the children was so deep. They had once loved each other so sincerely. How could Sophia Chen leave all that behind and walk away without a second thought? Nathan Hale couldn't accept this reality. He stood there, unmoving for a long time. The homeowner beside him recognized Nathan Hale. He smirked and said mockingly. I thought I recognized you. You're the famous Huo Xiao. Why aren't you with your little lover at this hour? What brings you here? Honestly, I don't blame your wife for running off with someone else. With the way you've been treating her, who could stand it? Everyone in their circle knew Nathan Hale was a womanizer. Girls in the same social class wouldn't even look at him as a marriage prospect. Those from lower status couldn't match the Hale family's standards. So, Margaret Hale took a different approach. She picked suitable wives from poor but pretty girls. Girls who were plain weren't even on Nathan Hale's radar. Those too low in intelligence, Margaret Hale disliked. After years of picking, she found Sophia Chen. Beautiful and innocent, with a high education. She was someone Nathan Hale could show off, but wouldn't get in the way of his wild affairs. Most importantly, she was young and easy to manipulate. A few sweet words, and Sophia Chen loved him to death. But such a good girl was never cherished. The whole family took advantage of Sophia Chen. They pushed her to the edge, making her leave without a care, selling the house to escape. Faced with this mockery, Nathan Hale looked furious. But he couldn't say a single word in defense. He had shamelessly enjoyed the benefits Sophia Chen gave him. Yet, every time she needed help, he abandoned her. At this moment, Nathan Hale finally realized how despicable his actions had been all these years. He realized how deep of a debt he owed Sophia Chen. He didn't stay to argue any longer. He turned and went back to the old house, waking up the two children from their sleep. Olivia Hale, still young, was startled by Nathan Hale's noise and cried in fear. The commotion woke up Margaret Hale. She walked out of her bedroom, displeased, and scolded. Nathan Hale, what madness is this in the middle of the night? Be careful not to scare the children. I'm sending these two children back to Sophia Chen. She's their real mother, better suited to care for them than you. Rid Cedars Sinai Medical Centerless. Margaret Hale glared at Nathan Hale with displeasure. Why does Sophia Chen have the right to raise these children? With her background, marrying into the Hale family was already a stroke of luck. She's not satisfied with luxury, and now she dares to demand even more. How greedy. Tell her not to come to tomorrow's banquet, so she doesn't get too ambitious and forget her place. Nathan Hale felt his heart tighten. He couldn't imagine how Sophia Chen had endured these past 10 years. The distance from the children, the indifference from her husband, the contempt from his mother, and the mocking from those around her. It all piled on her like a mountain. He had made Sophia Chen carry too much. Nathan Hale, who was angry just moments ago, suddenly froze. He looked at the two faces so similar to Sophia Chen's and muttered softly. She won't come. Sophia Chen has already divorced me. Margaret Hale stared at him in disbelief. She actually left? She could give up the Hale family's power and wealth, but she could also leave her two children? That woman's heart is so cruel. Forget it. This type of girl from a poor family always has hidden motives. Maybe she's just playing hard to get. Don't worry about her. Stop her cards. And after suffering outside for a while, she'll come back on her own. Was it really that simple? Nathan Hale had a nagging feeling. Something had changed, without him even realizing it. He bought the villa back and moved in again. Day by day, waiting. During this time, Savannah Reed called him countless times, but he had no mood to answer. Things seemed completely out of his control. He didn't know what to do, or how to win back someone who was determined to leave. Just then, Maria Gonzalez brought him a package. It was Sophia Chen's diary. Her hidden secrets from the 3 years she spent after marrying into the Hale family. As he read about all the grievances and heartaches, and the sweetness of their initial love, Nathan Hale suddenly understood. Sophia Chen was different from all the other women. She loved him completely, with no reservations. But after the love had faded, and when she had nothing left to hold on to, she left without a word. Nathan Hale's heart ached fiercely. He closed the diary and made up his mind to find Sophia Chen. When I saw Nathan Hale appear in front of me with the two children, I was surprised. I was surprised that he would come. I was even more surprised that the two children were willing to go with him. After all, in the past, even if I only wanted to take them to the amusement park, they would coldly reject me. To Ethan Hale and Olivia Hale, a mother from a lower background, not rich enough, was a source of shame. It was a truth they didn't want to face but had to admit. But now, they were obediently following Nathan Hale, saying insincere, fake words. Mom, come home with us. Dad and I both know we were wrong. We'll be good from now on. Nathan Hale gave a stiff, awkward smile. He looked at me with a mixture of embarrassment and pleading. I know you're angry because of Savannah Reed, but I really was confused back then. I promise. I'll never treat you like that again. If you don't want to see Savannah Reed, I'll send her away immediately. She'll never bother you again. My mom also agrees that the 2 kids will stay with you from now on. We'll all live together as a family, and no one will tear us apart. I paused, sighing softly. Nathan Hale, do you know what today is? Nathan Hale froze for a moment. He opened his mouth, speechless, unsure how to answer. He had forgotten, or maybe he just didn't remember. Today was the day our 3rd child passed away. When I gave birth to him, he was already 8 months old. He was a boy, developing healthily. He almost made it into this world. But it was just a little too late. At that time, I had begged at Nathan Hale's feet. But he, so deeply in love with Savannah Reed, refused to let me go. Now, he could easily send Savannah Reed away with just a few words. Love and indifference, all it took was a thought. How ironic. All these years, I never understood why Nathan Hale was so cruel to me. At first, we had loved each other without hesitation. For that, I was heartbroken, in pain, and sad. I always thought I wasn't good enough. I always thought it was all my fault. But just recently, I suddenly understood. It had nothing to do with me. It was simply because Nathan Hale is a hypocritical, cowardly, and selfish person. He doesn't love me, doesn't love Savannah Reed, doesn't even love his own children. He's just a playboy, playing the role of the all-powerful savior in his own fairy tale, completely oblivious to how others feel. Even now, his apology is so high-handed. When I didn't respond, Nathan Hale took a few steps forward. Sophia Chen, is it because of Auntie's death that you're angry at me? And the child? I know you're upset, but I didn't mean it. Auntie's death was an accident. And the child? We can always have another. I love you, and you love me. Why should we separate? The love of those in power is so arrogant. 2 lives, to him, are nothing but insignificant. His selfish affection is more important than anything else. I suddenly felt disgusted. Disgusted by his hypocritical face. Disgusted by how selfish and self-centered he was. Yet he tried to act like he cared deeply. I punched Nathan Hale in the face. I yelled at him to never show up in front of me again. Olivia Hale was scared by my actions and cried loudly. Ethan Hale stepped back, fear in her eyes as she looked at me. But in my heart, there was no fluctuation. I would never again be as careful, as desperate to make them happy. I firmly told Nathan Hale that I would never go back to him. Nathan Hale, remember this. From now on, I don't want to see you, and I will never forgive you. Nathan Hale wasn't willing to give up. We stared each other down for a long time. He, like before, bought flowers and gifts, trying desperately to win me back. But someone who had gone through life and death could never be moved by these things. I coldly threw all the things Nathan Hale sent me out. No matter how he explained it. No matter how much the 2 children cried. I never softened. Until one day, I received a call from Margaret Hale. Her voice was no longer arrogant. She sounded tired and sincere. She said there was something very important to tell me. That no matter what, I must come back. In just a few months, this once elegant lady had become a mere skeleton. Lying on a cold hospital bed, with terrifying tubes inserted into her body. But when she saw me, her face returned to its usual coldness. Seeing me like this, you must be pleased. You think I finally got what I deserved, right? I looked calm, without showing any emotion. You're mistaken. To me, you, Nathan Hale, and the entire Huo family are no different from strangers. You have nothing to do with me. Margaret Hale didn't get angry. Instead, she casually asked about my future plans. I told her honestly. I had been accepted to a prestigious school abroad and planned to continue my studies. To recover the 10 years that were wasted. Margaret Hale nodded and suddenly changed the subject. Your mother's accident wasn't an accident. I arranged it. The driver was a bit too rough. It wasn't my intention. Sophia Chen, this is my fault. I froze, feeling as if I had been struck by lightning. But I quickly realized. They had taken my children, killed my mother. Everything was just a means to control me. They feared me, they were scared of me. They tried their best to tame me. They wanted me to stay in the Hale family, to stay by Nathan Hale's side. To be a puppet without feelings, without thoughts. How cruel, how vicious. I stood there, trembling with anger. Margaret Hale continued. Sophia Chen, don't hate him. All the mistakes are mine. It has nothing to do with Nathan Hale. He loves you. I just wanted a special way to keep you by his side. I didn't expect things to turn out this way. I'm in the late stages now. I don't have much time left. I'm willing to die to atone for my sins. Willing to give you everything the Hale family has. Can't you give Nathan Hale one more chance? A slight noise came from outside the door. I knew it was Nathan Hale. This selfish and cowardly man didn't even have the courage to push the door open. He could only hide outside, watching an aging woman fight for him, charge for him. I looked at her, looked at Nathan Hale. Without a hint of mercy, I said 2 words. Absolutely not. I would never turn back. And I would never forgive. I dialed the police, right in front of Margaret Hale. Even knowing it might not make a difference, I still wanted to show my attitude. Just as the call was about to connect, Nathan Hale walked in and took my phone. I know what you want to do, and I can tell you directly, the Hale family will never leave any evidence behind. You're wasting your time, but I will prove my love for you. With that, Nathan Hale turned himself in, revealing all the crimes of the Hale family. After the call ended, he calmly looked at me. His eyes seemed steadier than before. I know you hate me, and I know you won't forgive me, whether I did it or not. It's all because of me. I'm willing to atone. Sophia Chen, this is my sincerity to you. Margaret Hale's eyes went wide with shock. Nathan Hale, what are you doing? Don't you realize that you're ruining the Hale family and yourself? Everything I've done was for you. Nathan Hale turned his head coldly. I don't need it. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have ended up like this with Sophia Chen. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have kept making mistakes. People must pay for their wrongdoings. I did wrong, and I accept it. Margaret Hale stared at him, her eyes wide. She gasped and fainted. The monitors beeped as the doctors rushed to save her. The 2 children were terrified, crying, screaming, calling for their mom. Police arrived and cuffed Nathan Hale. And Nathan Hale silently watched me. His lingering gaze seemed to have endless words. But I didn't look back, and I didn't soften. I turned, step by step, walking out of this world that never belonged to me.